My father taught me when I was very young that there's no replacement for hard work. When I first came into the industry, I knew nothing and I didn't really have a plan to come here. I was here in Bombay to study to do my advertising and marketing at Xavier's. But when I did my first film, I found that I was quite unprepared as an actor. So I decided to consciously train myself in acting. I did theatre for 5 years. I did workshops with Feroz Abbas Khan, and I've been doing workshops with Naseer Bhai. Been doing lots of training in acting. I think that if you love the job that you're doing, the rest of it is you just want to do that. So I guess it's just a function of just loving what you're doing and then keeping on doing that, researching that, doing that more and more, and you want to be around it. So I would say that if you really want to be in something or do something, you will be good at it. That's, I think, one of nature's ways. If somebody really likes food, chances are that they will become, if they're interested and they want to do something with food, they'll become good cooks. So it's that sort of thing. Actually, no, I'm really happy. I was really happy because it was not one of the best films. It sort of was made over a long period of time, stopping, starting. The way I looked and performed in the beginning of the film and the way I looked and performed towards the end of the film, I looked like two totally different people. Because by then I had learned so much and seen so much and grown so much. But I think that the idea of failure, that oh my god I failed and it's so bad, is no, I had a lovely time because it taught me so much and it forced me to look at myself and reconsider my way of looking at things and reevaluate and then work hard. And if you develop a talent, the world is there to welcome it with open arms. Actually, they entered into my camp. Okay. My friend Sandeep Sikand was with Balaji, and I was on and off in touch with him, and then he called me. He said there's this role called Malika and she's very strong and evil, and I was like, the actor in me got very excited because I'd only played Hindi film heroine, the slightly dancey, laughy, happy, giggly kind of girls. I'd never done a negative character who had shades of arrogance and ego and a lot of anger in her. So I was very excited, and I said, yeah, sure, let me tell me more about it. And the more he started telling me, and then the beauty about doing television, especially with Balaji, is they make you so comfortable. They give you so many facilities. They give you such they're very okay if you want to take the script and add on to it and make more of it. So then we just started playing with it. So first, initially I couldn't do it. I was a disaster. They were thinking of replacing me. So initially when I started shooting with them and I started doing that work, I was so used to being a soft character and a vulnerable character as how Hindi film heroines used to be. I just couldn't do it. And they were thinking of replacing me, and they were like, no, she's like this and she's like that and she's the other. And I was like, what the hell is she? And then I kicked into action. I started studying from how a woman who owns 300 crores, how would her nails be, how would her hair be, how would her attitude be, how would her voice be, what does she think when she gets up in the morning, what are her plans, what is her way of thinking, why does she not like this person. So I built my own story about the character and her own relationships, and that just from that day onwards, it just worked and worked and worked and worked, and that was exciting. Then it just became this character who was in a whole other space. So that was fantastic. Then I did Astitva.
Okay, Astitva.
With Ajay Sinha, which was another fantastic character. I actually really liked that character. Riya, her name was. She was a lawyer, very successful public prosecutor, working woman who's used to sort of ripping cases apart, and she's a very, very successful lawyer. So she catch a lie from a mile, and she knows exactly how to figure things out, and very nice character. Then I did Sarkar. I'm very thankful for the professional opportunity that this has afforded me. There's been a lot of acclaim and applause that has come my way, a few awards, lots of love, and more importantly, I always thought I was a decent actor, but now the world thinks so as well. And I would just say that I'm so excited because now what I have inside me, the desire to play a mentally challenged woman, a woman terrorist, a character who's, delusional or whatever, those kind of complex, difficult characters. I'm now dying to sink my teeth into one of those, and this is giving me the opportunity to do that. I'm not a person who's used to being content. I don't like the word contentment because in my mind it equates with a plateau. It equates with sort of this. I'm a person who's constantly, sort of wanting to grow, wanting to the next challenge, next thing. I'm that kind of nature. I was sitting and eating lunch with my husband one fine day, and I get a call from Amir Khan Productions, and they're telling me that they want to audition me, and I thought it was a friend cracking a joke. So I said, yeah, who's this? What do you want? And they were like, no, really, we're calling from Amir Khan Productions. So I was like, yeah, okay, tell me. So they said, no, we want to audition you. So I said, you know what, just send me the scenes. Okay, I thought if somebody's pulling my leg, then they will not send me scenes. And pretty soon in my mailbox, the scenes were there. So that was that. And did the audition. I did my best. I worked really hard at it. And the next day I was in the office meeting Amir, shaking hands, saying, okay, great, welcome on board. He was not. I don't have any incident where he was even slightly, I don't know, it was very smooth. I didn't have any moment where I can tell you that, this was difficult or this was whatever. It just flowed and just flowed. It was just one of those things that just happened. No, really nothing which is... Lots of memorable moments, lots. Well, one of them is when I beat Amir at word building. So yeah, that was memorable.
That was nice.
That's fun. The best in India. The very best, and the best in the world actually, because this has been something that I've been thinking about for some time, that India's cracked it in IT. We're just like completely, the whole world is outsourcing from us when it comes to IT. In cuisine, the Balti cuisine, the curry thing, it's all over the world and people are just dying about it. I just feel that as Indian actors, we have the intelligence, the emotional understanding, the depth, the talent, the skill, the gumption to be able to do world-class cinema. And it is something that I'm really looking forward to, that Indian actors crack it on the world stage, where people say, like how today they say, I want to see a Robert De Niro film or I want to see a Meryl Streep film. They should be able to turn around and say, I want to see this Indian actor's film. Just to create that kind of body of work where people internationally believe in you and want to see your work. So that it's not just that, you're not happy with India. You love India. I love my country and I love the people here. But I feel that not just India, but we have good enough actors to be able to crack it on the world stage. What I found very interesting in Amir is that one day he was sitting and we were shooting in this place called Mysore Colony. It's a place where there's huge grass and the machars were the size of small birds, with huge machars, and they were biting the living daylights out of everybody. And so that day Amir was directing and he was shooting. So there were these big huge machars on the set, and somebody came and gave him an odomos and said, sir, aap odomos laga lijiye kyunki aaj aap act bhi kar rahe hain. So he said, haan, do. So he took the odomos and he squeezed out a little bit and he started applying. He rolled up his shirt sleeve and put the odomos here, and then he put it here, and then he put it in his neck, and then he put it in his chest, and then he rolled up his pant and took off his shoes and socks and put it. For those 4 or 5 minutes, that's all he was doing. In this world, at that moment, that man had only one thought: how can I apply this odomos to the best? I was sitting and watching him from a corner and I was thinking, that's why he is able to do such spectacular work, and with this kind of concentration and this kind of dedication, because he has a singular and sharp focus and is in the moment. At that moment when he does what he's doing that. And to me, that's a very big learning exercise, because I think, when we're doing something, like I'm talking to you, some little jitters going on in the back of my mind. Acha, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. So I'm not really giving my full best to you at that moment. And somehow, if I'm not giving my best to you, then I'm cheating that moment, which he doesn't do. So that I've learned, really. Honestly speaking, the fact that I did this film, and a film of this kind, worked with these kind of wonderful people and had this experience, whether it had done well or not done well, it would always been a big treasure in my life, because it's so special. Films do well, films don't do well, but if you enjoy the journey, the destination perforce is fun, because you're shooting for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, whatever period of time you're shooting. It's a long time of your life that you're spending with a bunch of people. The release is 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. It just lasts for a bit. It's just that we give exaggerated importance to the fact that it's done well and it's going to produce a certain result. But ultimately, your life is made up of everyday ordinary days. So to me, the process is as important as the journey is as important as the destination. So whatever expectations I had were already fulfilled in the doing of this kind of work. It was a very special kind of experience to do this kind of film. And anything else that came, I can only call it a bonus. I don't think I'll have time right now, because I'm getting busier with lots of things. I'm getting some very exciting film offers, both Indian and international. I'm also starting my own production, which I'm working really hard on. Plus, I don't like to work 24/7. I'm not the kind of person who wants to do 12 films a year or 10 films a year. 2, 3 good, 4 good films, whatever I really, really, really want to do. And plus I write as well, and then I'm planning to build my farmhouse in Karjat. Then I like to travel, so I want to live my life also. So I don't think I'll have too much time to do fiction on television, but I'd love to host a show. I'd love to do some kind of interactive fun thing. Yes, I'm doing Nandita Das's film. It's called In Such Times. It's got a fantastic cast, and I've got a very interesting role, very nice role.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm also trying to do the whole focus thing. You prioritize. You don't get everything done every single day, but you try. And then I'm hiring a few people now, because the workload has become more. So decentralizing. Okay, you do this, and then trust them to do it. Because otherwise you want to do it yourself. You want to do everything yourself. So I'm getting to that point, getting my systems organized. I don't know. I don't think in terms like that. About yourself, you never think like that. You don't think of yourself as this. You just do what comes to you, and you just do it, and you try and do the best. And there's so many more people who've achieved so much. And when you see the kind of work that people are doing, the kind of lives people are leading, the kind of difference people are making to other people's lives, the amount that they're contributing to others' happiness, I really feel that there's so little one is doing. So I certainly don't think I'm any kind of rounder or all-rounder or any such thing. Fitness mantra, my God, that's always a topic of stress. I'm a born Punjabi and therefore tend to be always on the verge of being, unfit. I weight train. I really like weight training, so I do weight training about 3 times a week. I'm very bad with cardio. My friends have been telling me that you've got to really start liking cardio more. So run in the park or walk in the park for an hour every other day, and then also I do yoga.